Perched high above the Severn Valley, commanding the landscape of mid-Wales, Powis Castle is a place where centuries collide. Part medieval fortress, part aristocratic palace, and part imperial treasure house, this is a castle shaped not just by Welsh princes and English lords, but by the rise of the British Empire itself. Before we go any further, it's worth noting that photography and filming are not permitted inside Powis Castle. So today, our journey will focus on the castle's dramatic exterior, its world-famous gardens, and the extraordinary stories behind the walls. Stories that stretch from medieval Wales all the way to colonial India. Powis Castle's story begins in the 13th century, during a turbulent time when Wales was divided into rival kingdoms and marcher lordships. This hilltop stronghold was originally built by Owain ap Gruffydd ap Gwenwynwyn, a Welsh prince who made a pivotal and controversial decision. Rather than resist Edward I of England, Owain submitted to him, retaining his lands in exchange for loyalty. It was a move that ensured survival, but also marked the end of Powis as a native Welsh princely seat. The castle that emerged was defensive and austere, thick stone walls, towers, and battlements designed to dominate the borderlands below. Even today, Powis feels less like a fairy tale castle and more like a statement of power. Over the following centuries, Powis passed through several influential families, each leaving their mark. By the late medieval period, the castle was firmly established as a noble residence, rather than a purely military one. Comforts slowly crept in, larger windows, private apartments, and refined interiors, while the ancient red sandstone walls remained largely untouched. But it was in the late 16th and early 17th centuries, under the Herbert family, that Powis truly began its transformation. The Herberts were ambitious, wealthy, and well-connected. They didn't just want a stronghold, they wanted a statement home. Under the Herberts, Powis Castle evolved into a grand aristocratic residence. Medieval austerity gave way to elegance. New ranges were added, interiors were richly decorated, and the castle took on a more palatial feel, without ever losing its imposing silhouette. But perhaps the most extraordinary legacy of the Herbert family lies not in the castle itself, but in what unfolds below it. The gardens at Powis are nothing short of astonishing. Carved into the steep hillside beneath the castle, these Italianate terraced gardens are among the finest in Britain, and certainly the most dramatic. Laid out primarily in the late 17th and early 18th centuries, the gardens are arranged in descending terraces, each one revealing a new perspective, a new design, and a new sense of scale. Yew hedges rise like green walls, stone balustrades frame distant views. Ornamental urns and statues punctuate the geometry, while the castle looms above like a watchful guardian. This is formal gardening at its most theatrical, a deliberate contrast to the rugged Welsh landscape beyond. To understand Powis Castle fully, we now need to leave Wales behind and travel to 18th century India. One of the most significant chapters in Powis Castle's history is its connection to Robert Clive, better known as Clive of India. Clive was a soldier, administrator, and one of the key figures in establishing British dominance in India through the East India Company. His victories, particularly at the Battle of Plassey in 1757, helped lay the foundations of British rule on the subcontinent. But Clive's legacy is deeply complex, marked by immense wealth, political controversy, and enduring historical debate. So how does Clive of India connect to Powis Castle? The link comes through marriage. Clive's son, Edward Clive, married Henrietta Herbert, the daughter of the Earl of Powis. Through this union, the Clive fortune, earned in India, flowed directly into the Powis estate. Edward Clive later became Earl of Powis, and with him came not only immense wealth, but one of the most remarkable collections of Indian art and artifacts in Britain. Inside Powis Castle, though we can't film them, are objects unlike those found in almost any other British country house. The collection includes ivory carvings, Mughal jade, jewelled weapons, textiles and ceremonial items, many of them gifts or acquisitions linked directly to Clive's time in India. These objects transformed Powis into something unique, a Welsh castle housing one of the most important collections of Indian artifacts in Europe. They are beautiful, intricate, and historically powerful, while also prompting difficult questions about empire, exploitation, and the cost of imperial ambition. Powis does not shy away from this complexity. Instead, it stands as a place where British and global history intersect in tangible form. By the late 18th century, Powis Castle had become a symbol not just of aristocratic heritage, but of imperial reach. The wealth brought back from India funded further improvements to the castle and gardens, reinforcing Powis's status as a seat of power, both local and global. It's a reminder that many of Britain's great houses are not just national landmarks, but international ones, tied to stories far beyond their immediate landscapes. Returning to the gardens, there's a striking contrast at work. The upper terraces are formal and controlled, with clipped hedges and symmetry. But as you move lower, the landscape softens. Woodland paths, open lawns, and sweeping views across the Welsh countryside. This deliberate transition mirrors Powis itself, order giving way to nature, structure blending into wilderness. From the lower gardens, the castle appears almost unreal, rising from the hillside like a fortress suspended in time. Today, Powis Castle is cared for by the National Trust, preserving not only its architecture and gardens, but the layered stories embedded within them. It is a place that refuses to be simplified. Powis is Welsh and British, medieval and imperial, beautiful and challenging. It invites admiration, but also reflection. As we take one last look up at the castle walls and across the terraces below, Powis reminds us that history is rarely straightforward. This is not just a castle built to defend a border, or a garden designed to impress. It is a place shaped by ambition, loyalty, conflict, and empire. From Welsh princes to English lords, from Italianate gardens to Indian treasures, Powis Castle stands as one of the most extraordinary historic sites in Britain. Thank you for joining me here today. If you've enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and explore more stories from remarkable places, right here on McBrowser.